ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
The college football playoff continues with the quarterfinals. On New Year's Eve, Ohio State and Miami clash in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Then, in a New Year's Day triple header, Texas Tech and Oregon face off in the Capital One Orange Bowl. Then, Indiana and Alabama battle in the Rose Bowl game presented by Prudential. In primetime, Georgia confronts Ole Miss in the All-State Sugar Bowl. The college football playoff quarterfinals begin New Year's Eve at 7:30 p.m. Eastern and continue New Year's Day at noon Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app.
The college football playoff quarterfinals.
Let's go!
First on New Year's Eve, Miami faces Ohio State. Then on New Year's Day, it's Oregon versus Texas Tech.
Touchdown, Oregon!
Followed by Alabama, Indiana.
Touchdown! The Hoosiers take the lead!
Then Ole Miss faces Georgia. The college football playoff quarterfinals on ESPN Radio and on ESPN. Earlier on Clinton and Friends.
NASCAR George, welcome back to the program.
Hey, Yates, first two times I called you was the 10 o'clock hour. And then I tried to get in about 4 weeks ago. I couldn't get in them, but I don't remember it was the first hour or the second hour. I'm 62 years old, and I start to forget. Hey, so I said I'll try to get in here at the end. It's hard to get in your show now. I saw you on the TV.
Clinton and Friends, weekdays from 10 to noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
ACC Network, your home for ACC women's basketball.
Stars are going to emerge, and that's what you're going to see.
So many teams got talent back, so many new faces.
And I don't think the product's been any better in the ACC than what it is right now.
For three, here I come.
It's going to be massive, and it's just great for basketball fans. So many good matchups.
It doesn't get much better than this, does it? It does not. ACC women's basketball, all season long on ACC Network.
This is Freddie Coleman, and you're listening to Freddie and Harry on ESPN 1140 AM and 96.9 FM.
This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
ESPN Radio, ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. Freddie and Harry is presented by Progressive Insurance. I'm Gabe Neitzel along with Andre Snellings, filling in for the boys today. And we want to hear from you on that Dr. Pepper call-in line, 888-SAY-ESPN. Who is the biggest surprise of the NFL season? Dre, when I ask that question, you give me your biggest surprise this year in the NFL.
Probably the Patriots. I know they had a last place schedule. I know that all of those things factored in, but I thought they were going to be much better this year than last year, and that they were going to win maybe 8 games, maybe 9, have a chance to break 500. So for them to be battling for the 1 seed, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I guess I go the other way. I'm still shocked about the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised, as good as that division is, that they didn't win the NFC West. Like, that was going to happen eventually. But for them to be eliminated as early as they were, and again, now it's unfortunate with the injury to Patrick Mahomes and all that, but they were the 1 seed last year in the AFC. And they did not make the playoffs at all this season. I guess that's where I land in terms of my biggest surprise. But we want to hear from you, 888-SAY-ESPN. Let's go to Brian in New Jersey. Brian, what's your biggest surprise of the NFL season?
Mine's actually a little bit on the backward side. It's my Eagles. The fact they can have double-digit wins, looking at 12 wins, maybe even the 2 seed. But when I watch them every single down all season long, I'm like, there's no way. There's no way we should still have a chance to do what we're doing and be as high as a 2 seed and hosting 2 playoff games.
Yeah, because, again, that's the crazy thing. They were the 2 seed, Dre, last year.
Yeah.
They were the 2 seed in the NFC and went to and won a Super Bowl, and the 2 seed is still on the table for them heading into Week 18.
Yeah, but last year they were the 2 seed, but they were the disruptor, right? It was the NFC North that had the multiple great record teams, but the Eagles felt like they hadn't lost since, like, Week 3. I mean, it was like they were on this incredible winning run, and this year is the exact opposite. It feels like the caller said, like Brian said, how are they even still here? How is this possible when you look at the way that they're playing?
Let's go to Chad in Nebraska. Chad, you're up next. What is the biggest surprise of the NFL season?
I want to say that the biggest surprise has probably got to be the 49ers. Going back to them, no one was talking about them in the middle of the season when Jones was in from Purdy. The other part is that, the Bears, I had another thought, is that the Bears have no real defense. So they're not going to make it very far through the playoffs. Brock Purdy was cool as a cucumber. He had no pressure on him other than a couple of times from Booker. But so really, Bears defense is solely Booker. Brock Purdy, he's going to take the 49ers, I think, all the way. This is their year. When their defense was getting injured one after another, everybody stopped talking about the 49ers as being anything productive.
Yeah. Chad from Nebraska, 100% correct. But I feel like we completely stopped talking about the 49ers, and then we got to Sunday Night Football in a game where they're being featured on national TV against the Bears, and you're looking at the numbers going, oh, yeah, I mean, the Niners offense is awesome. Yeah. They just keep scoring points. Nobody can stop them right now, and the same thing last night. Bears got the interception, still couldn't stop the Niners from putting up 42 points.
Yeah, I mean, the Niners right now, they've had like a shift in identity, right? Because they were known as more of a defensive-minded team, and now because of all the injuries, the defense isn't what it used to be, but their offense is so just overwhelming. They're going into the playoffs looking like the best offense in the NFL. And so even if it's a different style than they have maybe won with in the past, that's a style that you can still maybe hang your hat on going into the postseason.
We will take more of your calls certainly coming up. We've got Coach Herm Edwards coming up, and we're going to talk with him about everything happening in the NFL. But I want to run this one by you as well, Dre, just because Marcus Freeman looks like he's going to be staying at Notre Dame. According to ESPN, sources telling ESPN, Freeman, potential candidate for NFL head coaching vacancies, apparently said, nope, I'm coming back to the Irish in 2026. But it's this wording that I find curious. We didn't get a number. We don't know how much he's making, but we get the phrase Freeman receiving an, quote, enhanced contract from the university, sources confirmed to ESPN. What do you make of enhanced contract?
I have never heard that term in my life. When, I read these articles all the time. They always say, okay, well, the coach got more money or the coach got something, We just know that he got something better than he was going to get. Like, we don't know if it's more money. We don't know if it's more responsibilities. We don't know if it's added links to the contract, right? Like, all they're saying is it's enhanced and he'll be back next season. And when I think about a program as large as Notre Dame, as storied as Notre Dame, you have to feel like there are finances there to be able to do what they want to do. And so they can do a lot of enhancing if they don't want their coach to move on to the NFL.
This is it's interesting to me because it is a circus right now in college athletics. You take a look at college basketball, guys who are drafted in the NBA are coming back to play college basketball now.
Yeah.
Transfer portal, NIL, it seems like there are no rules. But Marcus Freeman deciding to stay there instead of taking a chance in the NFL, it's a great thing for Notre Dame. Again, he is one of the best coaches in all of college football. Coming up next, we talk with our coach, Herm Edwards, here on Freddie and Harry, ESPN Radio, and the ESPN app.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Charlie's battery is struggling to start. Not ideal before the tailgate, so he goes to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone,
where a friendly AutoZoner tests his battery for free. Looks like he needs a new one, so he gets the Duralast battery.
Have fun and stay warm.
And he makes it to the tailgate early enough to get his favorite spot. Free battery testing and charging. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football. It's a pepper thing.
Okay, guys, the holidays are behind us, Valentine's is right around the corner, and you have several months before fishing really begins. So now's the perfect time to get that vasectomy you've been putting off. If your family is complete, Dr. Alvarez can perform a no-needle, no-scalpel vasectomy, and you can give your partner the best Valentine's gift ever. This minimally invasive procedure can be done in Homer or Soldotna with little or no pain and a quick recovery. Do Cupid and yourself a favor. Your partner will be thrilled, and you will be a hero. Call 262-5111 and never worry about birth control again.
Good morning. I'm Nick Sorrell. A massive military spending bill signed by President Donald Trump includes new benefits and construction funding for Alaska. The bill raises base pay and gives Alaska-based troops a free round-trip flight home each year. Senator Dan Sullivan says the law brings hundreds of millions in military investment to the state. One person is dead after an early morning Christmas Eve fire Wednesday in South Anchorage. Firefighters responding just after 5 a.m. found a trailer heavily damaged by flames and located the victim inside. Police are investigating the death, and fire officials say the cause of the fire is still unknown. And Governor Mike Dunleavy has appointed 2 Mat-Su Republicans to fill vacant Alaska House seats. Garrett Nelson and Stephen St. Clair will replace George Rauscher and Kathy Tilton, pending confirmation votes by House Republicans after Christmas. The legislative session begins January 20th. That's news of the Kenai, Alaska. I'm Nick Sorrell.
And the Falcons by a point at Tampa Bay. I mean, they were better at the time, but
that's a good win. That's not a bad one.
They beat the Jets twice. They beat the Bengals. They beat the Giants. They beat Baltimore, who's also 500.
Yeah.
So there's one win against the team with a winning record on that resume. Again, it's not their fault. They don't make the schedule.
So
but
you can only play who you play.
I just think that 13-3 is a little inflated.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Man, I love seeing the old gang at these reunions.
Did you see Brian? He's in better shape than he was 25 years ago. How is that even possible?
Yep, I ran into him a few weeks ago and had to ask. He told me he started taking Nugenix Total T2.
The testosterone booster?
Yeah, but it's way more than that now. It also skyrockets your nitric oxide in as little as 3 hours. I started taking it right away, and I'm already seeing results.
I was wondering what you were doing. You seriously crushed me in that pickup game last week.
Yep, after 40, energy, strength, drive, it all starts going downhill. But with T2, I feel like my old self again. Stronger, leaner, and my energy is way up. My wife even noticed the difference. They're giving out complimentary bottles right now. Just send them a text.
Text ROCK to 321-321 for your complimentary bottle of new Nugenix Total T2. Text now and you'll also get a free bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator. That's ROCK to 321-321.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. Product not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The Peninsula's leader in sports. ESPN 1140. KSLD, Soldotna, Kenai, Homer. You know us. We know sports. This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Coach Andy Reid addressed his future today, said he plans to return to the Chiefs next season, if they'll have him back. He is 18 wins away from passing George Halas on the career list. Final game of the 2025 NFL regular season, Ravens-Steelers on Sunday Night Football. Winner claims the AFC North title and 4 seed for the playoffs. Losers done for the season. Baltimore quarterback Lamar Jackson 50-50 with a back injury. Pittsburgh receiver DK Metcalf will serve the second game of a 2-game suspension for his altercation with a Lions fan. ESPN NFL analyst Herm Edwards.
That could hurt Pittsburgh. There's no doubt about that. Now, Lamar Jackson's not playing, so I think they're a different rated team without him playing. I understand Derrick Henry. They're going to run Derrick Henry. There's no doubt about that. Now, Aaron Rodgers is playing, and this is the game that this is why you bring in Aaron Rodgers. It's for games like this, important games. I mean, this is when Aaron Rodgers is going to have to find a way to generate some offense with the players he has and try to win this game.
Herman Clinton and friends. More from Herm next when he joins Gabe and Dre on Freddie and Harry.
Hey, it's Aaron Goldhammer. Tuesday on Unsportsmanlike. The NFL playoffs are right around the corner. So who are the teams that are going to completely disappoint us once we get there? It's Unsportsmanlike. 6 a.m. Eastern Time on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
From Studio 2 at the worldwide headquarters of ESPN and the HD studio in Atlanta, Georgia. This is Freddie and Harry.
What would you do if you hit that lottery, $1.2 billion, when it comes to the Powerball? One of our favorites is Big Joiner, baby, in Atlanta. Big Joiner, if those numbers come up in your favor and you hit the Powerball lottery tonight, what would you do with the money?
Listen, of course I'm going to take care of donating and the cousins that I don't like, cousins that I love. But let me tell you, this woman of 40 years, my baby, my queen, them 40 years is over, you heard me? I'm going to give her half, and I'm going to be back to Big Joiner, the soul burner, house rocker, water walker, and soul talker, baby.
This is Freddie and Harry.
Freddie and Harry, ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. I'm Gabe Knives along with Andre Snellings. In for the guys today, Freddie and Harry, presented by Progressive Insurance. And I'm always excited when I get to fill in on Mondays because that means I get to have a conversation with our guy, Coach Herm Edwards. He is brought to you by Robinhood. Coach Herm Edwards, your money, your move, brought to you by Robinhood. Trade all in one place. Coach, thank you so much for the time. Appreciate you jumping in. How are we doing today?
I am well. I saw a game last night where basically if you're a defensive coach, you don't watch the film today. you can't do that. I mean, you can't do that. You make them go in there by their position groups, and they say you just go watch it just to see. But that's, I mean, that was unbelievable. 900 yards of offense, 80 points scored, only 5 punts. The one turnover, and other than that, it was just whoever had the ball last was going to win, and Chicago just couldn't pull it off at the end. But if you're a fan of football and you like scoring, boy, it was unbelievable.
Well, so, Coach, with those two teams in particular, one of them still could get the #1 seed in San Francisco. Are those defenses the Achilles heel? Is that what could prevent them from winning championships?
Well, San Francisco, they've only got 18 sacks. They can't sack the quarterback. That could be a problem. Down the road. It showed up last night a little bit in the fact that Caleb Williams had a lot of time in the pocket. A lot of those deep throws, when you think about it, he had a lot of time developing routes, running way across the field. He just sat in the pocket. So they're not going to touch me, and for the most part, he was right. But it could come back to haunt him a little bit. It'll be interesting when they get in the playoffs because can they score like that? They've been a high-scoring team. Purdy, missed 8 games. He's already got 20 touchdowns. He missed 8. He's got 20. And this is a hot offense. I mean, it just you can't imagine them cooling off anytime soon.
So, Coach, staying in the NFC,
yes,
one of your teams, your Eagles.
Yeah,
they got the win yesterday.
They did,
but we've been talking about how they don't necessarily look the same way they looked last season at this time. What is your feelings on them? Do you think that they are ready to make another playoff run?
Well, the thing that they have, and they do a good job of, and people lose sight of this, and I get it. Because you watched them yesterday in the first half, and the second half they score no points.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like, okay, they know how to win. At the end of the day, they find ways to win games, and it's just, okay. You can complain all you want. Well, I want this. No, what you want? At the end, you want to win. You just want to win the game. It's just that. Bottom line, you want to win the game. They win games. It's ugly. It's not pleasing. You want a free ticket. You don't want to buy a ticket to go watch them because you go, this is boring. This is not fun. Okay, but they find a way to win games. And now, will that catch up to them? The NFC West has some good teams over there. Some good quarterbacks. They're going to have to score some points. They can't play like that. So it'll be interesting when they get in. But they have the pedigree. They've been in a lot of playoffs. They know how to handle big games. And so that's something to be said about those guys.
Herm Edwards, ESPN NFL analyst, joining us here on Freddie and Harry, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. So sticking with that game, Coach, your thoughts on the Bills deciding to go for 2 and the win at the end of that game, still instead of kicking the extra point and potentially going to OT?
Well, the only thing I will say is this: if you're going to do that, okay, and then we can debate it. Everybody has an opinion. That's what's good about football. Everybody got an opinion when it doesn't work. Okay, so that's fine. I get it. I've been on that side of it as a coach. I get it. The only thing I will say is this, is that when the quarterback was wounded, that was a concern for me because if you're going for 2 points, I'm giving it to the best player. I'm giving it to 17. And I'm going to say, hey, man, you go RPO this, you gonna run or throw, but at the end of the day, you have the ball. You get to make the decision. Well, he wasn't healthy. He was wounded. So, you know, he could hardly throw. I mean, he tried to scramble out, and you could see he couldn't put any pressure on his front foot, so the throw was low and away. And he went to the press conference and said, hey, that's on me. But it ain't on him because without him, this team is an 8-win team without that quarterback. I mean, he's Superman. I mean, he's flat Superman. I mean, he is I say it every time I talk about him. He is my favorite football player. I don't consider him a quarterback. I just consider him a football player. And what he's done with this team and how they every year find a way to get to where they need to go with basically when they break the huddle on offense, there's 2 guys that scare you, the runner and him. Nobody else. You don't sit there and go, oh, I got to worry about this number 1 wideout. No, you don't. No, you don't. You got to stop the quarterback and the runner. And they keep finding ways to win games with those 2 guys. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, they've done their thing. And I would say that Josh Allen is kind of the last of the super quarterbacks in the AFC that are still standing, with the possible exception of Lamar Jackson if the Ravens are able to get into the playoffs. After yesterday's game, that's a real possibility, right? We got the Steelers and the Ravens this weekend. How do you think that game plays out, and who do you think ends up representing the AFC North in the playoffs?
The AFC North, huh?
The excitement in your voice, Coach.
Yeah. I think this. They were caught. Well, I said this before they played, when Pittsburgh played against Cleveland. I said what I wanted to see was this. No DK Metcalf. How do they get big plays in the passing game? And they're playing against a good Cleveland Brown defense that has a good secondary. I said, this is going to be interesting. So when Cleveland beat them, I wasn't shocked. Mm-hmm. But now going into this next game, he's not available again. What is Aaron Rodgers going to do to generate offense? Right now, he's so mad at those receivers he can't see straight. He can't see straight. They all talk about, hey man, I want to be the guy. Well, you can be the guy, but when you gonna be the guy? I need you now. You can't wait. And so, how will they generate offense? They know they got to stop Derrick Henry. Lamar Jackson probably won't play. I don't know if he's going to play or not. If he's a little wounded, I'd be cautious. But this will be an interesting game.
Talking with Herm Edwards, ESPN NFL analyst here on Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio. Okay, Coach, you mentioned Lamar in the middle of last week. Those reports coming out, the story coming out of Baltimore that maybe John Harbaugh's getting tired of some of the antics that are going on, and they kind of bend and do whatever Lamar wants to do. What do you think the future for John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson is in Baltimore?
Obviously it's a little bit, and we hear, and I always, rumors, it's like... I used to say this when I was in New York, and when the rumor starts in Miami, it's a guppy, and the time it gets to New York City, it's the great white whale, because people add stuff to it, right? And so we don't really know, but we do know this: it's a little bit of a stormy romance with all the things you hear, right? And so, when you have a coach that's been in an organization that long, you have this great quarterback with a lot of talent. But misses a lot of games, misses a lot of practices. I love Lamar Jackson, but I'm just saying that's a fact. Mm-hmm. And so when you see that as a player, and you watch this all unfold, you start like, hey, wait a minute, what's So it's part of it. The one thing I've always told players is that at the end of the day, you better be available. You have to be available. You just do. You just do. And it's a hard game. We know you get nicked and bruised, but you have to be available. And does practice matter? Practice matters. It matters. It really does. You have to be there. And Lamar's been in and out, and that's why this offense is a little bit clunky. And now they got to rely on the runner. The runner is the guy now. Lamar Jackson is special when he's playing, but you don't know when he's going to play.
Yeah, no, that's real. That's real. So if we stay in the AFC,
yes,
right, we've got the Broncos and the Patriots, for 1 and 2. But I am of the opinion that the Texans are the team to watch in the AFC, even though they'll be a wild card. So do you think the Texans' offense is strong enough to complement what they're doing on defense?
No. But defensively, they keep you in the game. And they are outstanding. They are really, really good. And they kind of sneak up on you. You don't know. You don't talk about the Texans a lot. Yeah, the Texans. You know, because first of all, it's one of those teams. Hey, where are they at? You know, the Texans. Who's the Texans? They ain't the Cowboys. They used to be the Texans. Who's the Texans team, right? And so D'Amico Ryans. I mean, he has a defensive background. They're not fun to watch, by the way, offensively. You know, you go get your, soda or whatever when the offense goes, because you don't want to watch the offense. You want to watch your defense, right? And that's okay. But can they go through the gauntlet of games and good quarterbacks are going to face? That'll be the key for them.
Herm Edwards, ESPN NFL analyst, joining us here on Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio. I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, but let's stick in the AFC South. It's not a division that has had a lot of contenders come out of it, but they're going to have 2 playoff teams this year. Yeah. When you watch the Jags this year with Liam Cohen as their head coach and what Trevor Lawrence has done, especially of late, do you see a serious contender in the AFC? I do, and Coach Cohen, he's got to be up for Coach of the Year as well. There's about 4 or 5 coaches. He happens to be one of them. New England, obviously, Chicago, obviously, San Francisco. I know I'm going to miss somebody, and if I do, and somebody's listening to this, and you're a fan of another team, I apologize. But I will say this: Trevor Lawrence looks like the guy they drafted 5 years ago. He's a big. The coach finally convinced him, hey, man, you got to go make the unannounced play, the play that they can't cover, the play that they don't see. You know what that is? When the quarterback runs. When the quarterback runs, when he leaves the pocket and extends the play, that is something that defenses cannot cover because you don't know what it's going to look like. You don't have it on tape. It's like, okay, we can stop. When he leaves the pocket, you're just hoping. You're going, okay, here's the deal, boys. You got to plaster these receivers, and this quarterback's running, but then somebody's got to tackle him, and then you're looking at the quarterback, and the receiver gets behind you. This is a mess. Well, he's become a runner. Think about this guy. He's like Josh Allen. He has that kind of size. Nobody wants to tackle this big old guy, and he can run. He's an athlete. So I just think the turnaround for this team is kind of fun to watch if you're a Jaguar fan. You know, they're in Jacksonville, Jaguars. Who's the Jacksonville Jaguars? Really? That's another team, the Jaguars. I remember when they put their franchise together. I said, they're going to put a team where? In Jacksonville. I said, man, that's my Disney World. What are they doing? You can't do that. Mickey Mouse. The Mickey Mouse is the big attraction down there, right?
Absolutely.
But to his credit, to the quarterback, to this football team, they're a good team.
So speaking of good teams, yes, I just said earlier in the show, I'm on the record that the Patriots are the biggest surprise to me in the NFL this year. What Coach Vrabel's been able to do, what Drake May is doing as a second-year quarterback. They've got 13 wins. Good chance they have 14 when the season's over. Do they have enough to make it to a Super Bowl this season?
It'll be interesting how they handle when they start playing teams with elite quarterbacks. How they handle that. You're right. I mean, and people will say, well, their schedule. Well, your schedule's your schedule. You can't do anything. You just win the games on your schedule. They've done that. And so people, I think, are a little bit surprised in the fact that they're going, oh, no, New England's back again. Because they had dipped off the radar for a while. And now they're back, and you're going, they got a young quarterback. They got a really good coach. By the way, wasn't that coach down in Tennessee? That's another story. But anyway, he's in New England. Right? And so he's considered a coach of the year, too. So, I mean, this is a good team. They're doing it the Patriot way. And Vrabel knows the Patriot way. He was raised in that system by a Hall of Fame head coach. And they get it. These players get it. There's not a lot of fanfare. You don't hear a lot about them. No one talks about them hardly. They just keep winning. They got 13 wins or 13-3. It's like, oh boy, really? 13-3, right? Because you talk about Buffalo, because of the quarterback. You want to talk about Buffalo because the quarterback's exciting, right? I mean, you talk about the Buffalo Bills before you talk about New England. You do, because New England's kind of like, you're getting ready to watch a game. I don't want to watch the Patriots. They're boring. They're 13 wins. They ain't that boring.
Herm Edwards, ESPN NFL analyst, joining us here on Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio. At the end of last week, the Raiders decided that they were going to sit Max Crosby.
Yeah.
And they told him, hey, we're sitting you down. He was so upset he left the team facility. Yeah. As a coach, when the team decides to shut someone down, how tough of a conversation can that be?
It's very tough, especially with a guy like that wants to play. But I guess he's having surgery, too. So that has something to do with it. And, you know, and I know some people say they're tanking it. I don't know if they're tanking it. They don't even have to. He can play, and it ain't gonna matter. I mean, he's already played. It didn't matter. You know, he can't play all the positions. So, you know, they're looking at it and going, hey, man, we got to protect this guy. And, you know, people are saying, well, they want the first-round pick. Can you imagine if they get the first-round pick? I was thinking about this last night. The quarterback from Indiana. Can you imagine if the Raiders pick him? The guy's been in Indiana.
Yeah.
Just think about that. He's been in Indiana. Great kid. Great family. It's all the things are there. And then they say, guess where you're going? To the Raiders. But not only to the Raiders, you're going to Las Vegas. That's a wow for me. That is my wife loves the kid. That's her favorite college player. She loves the kid. And I said, honey, he might go to the Raiders. She goes, they're in Vegas. I said, yeah, they're in Vegas.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a culture. I'm from the Midwest. So there's a little bit of a culture shock from Indiana to Vegas.
I'll tell you what, when you go to Vegas the first time, you go, what is this place? Mm-hmm. You have to wipe your shoes off when you leave. That's all I know. Click your heels when you leave.
Absolutely. Well, let's stay on that for a second, though. You mentioned that some people feel like the Raiders were tanking. And I'll admit, you know, on the outside, when I heard they were shutting Crosby down and the circumstances, my first thought was, okay, well, they want that number 1 pick. But as a fan, I wasn't necessarily mad at that. So true that players and coaches don't play to lose, but maybe front offices do. Right. So my question is, I'm a Bengals fan.
Yeah.
They've already announced that Joe Burrow is going to start next week against Cleveland. Do you think it's intelligent sometimes to shut down some of the star players on teams to maybe get some draft status? Just because what else do you have to gain at this point?
Well, I will say this. First of all, the way these contracts are written now, the first thing you got to make sure is you talk to the player or to the agent and say, this is what we're thinking. And then you got to say, is there anything in this contract? Well, if he gets so many starts, whatever, is it? Because if that's part of it, then you go, well, we got to play him some, right? And you know, and I do believe this. And I'm just a big opponent of this. I say it in a way where people say, well, he's old, you know, he's an old player. You know what somebody told me a long time ago when I became a football player? Football players play football. Yeah. Football players play football. And there's a window of opportunity when you get to play football. And I do know this. And I will say this, and I was lucky and I was fortunate. From high school to college to professional football, I never missed a practice. I never missed a start.
Well, all right.
Because I was a football player. And somebody told me a long time ago when I was a little kid, football players play football. So that's just me. Now, I can't speak for anybody else. I'm just speaking for Coach Herm. And I've been a coach where you go, I got to, you know, I'm going to let him play the first quarter. I got to get him out. But you play football, man. Because the thing about it is this. Once you don't have the opportunity to play anymore, whether you retire and you just can't do it, you miss it.
Yeah.
There's nothing that comes close to playing football for me personally. And if I could go do it again, I go, sign me up, man. I go play right now. I can't. And so that's just me. That's just my personal opinion. Every player has his own deal. I know you guys pay a lot of money. You know, you're never worried about getting hurt. That's the last thing you just say, I'm playing football, man. This is what I do. You get so many games every year, you get to play them, and you want to play football. And I think a lot of these guys do, but I just think with the structure of these contracts, how much money these guys make now, a lot of these organizations are scared to death.
So it seems like from that perspective, Coach, that you probably really enjoyed Phillip Rivers coming back.
Oh, my God.
He said he was 0-3. He wished they would have won, but there were 3 games that he never thought he would ever be able to play again, and he's grateful for the opportunity to play in 3 more football games.
Yeah. You know what? And I remember coaching against him when I was with the Jets, and he is a marvelous player, man. And he said it. They said, well, why'd you come back? The first thing came out of his mouth, I miss playing football. I get to go play football. Now, the man's 44 years old, and he's saying, I miss playing football. I'm going to tell him something. Hey, bro, I'm 71. I'm the same way. Now, I can't go out there and play. There ain't no way I could play. But I'm like, I get it. When he said that, I smiled. I said, he's exactly right. And unless you played this great game of football, you don't get that. You just don't. It's just a feeling, man, when you walk in that huddle with those other 10 guys, there's this feeling you have is like, there ain't nothing like it.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing like it, boy. There ain't nothing come close to it, when you get to compete in the arena. And so I'm happy for Phillip Rivers. I mean, he got to do something that most guys at 44 that played the game wish they could do it. He did it.
Coach, certainly appreciate the time, appreciate the insight. Have a happy new year. And one more week. That's all we got left before games really start to count in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's going to be funny when we get to these playoffs now. You're one and done. You get to go home, boy. That's when it's hard. When you lose, you go home.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you, now.
Thanks, Coach.
Herm Edwards, ESPN NFL analyst, joining us here on Freddie and Harry. We want to still hear from you. 888-SAY-ESPN on the biggest surprises of the NFL season. Plus, Coach talked about it a little bit, but how exactly did the Steelers lose to the Browns? It's coming up next. Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Your opinion matters.
Okay, please call me.